Typically, when you receive a research assignment, there will be a requirement for the number of sources you should reference. Despite how it may seem, this isn't just your professor trying to make the assignment more difficult. Consulting multiple sources is a necessary part of writing an effective paper. If your research question is sufficiently complex, you simply won't be able to answer it with one or even a couple of sources. Different elements of your question will need to be answered by separate sources, and it is then your job to put together the puzzle pieces to form a coherent answer. This is what we call synthesis. We can think of synthesis like cooking. We can't just gather all the ingredients, place them on the table, and call that dinner. We must prepare them, combine them, and create something new that is greater than the sum of its parts. Synthesizing information works the same way. We gather our information from our various sources, analyze it, make connections, and develop our own fresh insights. We can do this by making note of the similarities and differences between how our different sources talk about our topic. Do they agree or disagree on key points? Does one source contain information that another is missing? Are there new ideas that can be formed by combining information from different sources? The next step to the research process is understanding the proper way to integrate the information we're synthesizing into our paper. The ideas we are working with come from an original source. You know that because you did all the work to find those sources. When integrating that information into your paper, not only do you need to pull from multiple sources, but you must also credit all of them properly. This can be done in a few ways, including quoting, paraphrasing, and summarizing. Quoting involves using a part of the original source in your paper. This can be done by using either a direct or indirect quote. A direct quote uses the exact wording from the original source placed inside quotation marks and must be attributed to the original author using an in-text citation. Indirect quotes require you to put the original quote into your own words. When quoting indirectly, you still need to properly cite the original source. Paraphrasing is done by putting information from the original source into your own words. This is exactly what we are doing when we make an indirect quote. However, when paraphrasing, we may take a larger section of the original source rather than just a sentence or two and use our own wording to communicate all of the main ideas. Being able to paraphrase effectively indicates that you have a thorough understanding of your source material. Paraphrasing will also likely be the primary way you integrate ideas from sources into your own paper. It's important to remember that even though you are using your own words, you should still cite your sources. In short, effective paraphrasing will include the main ideas of the original selection of your source, be easily distinguishable as your own writing, and reference the original source using proper in-text citation. You might think of summarizing as a form of paraphrasing. When writing a summary, you use your own words to concisely communicate the most important information from a source. As with our other methods of integrating information, you should always refer to your original source when summarizing. A good summary will include only the most important points of information, not details. Be brief, shorter than the original source. Be easily distinguishable as your own writing, and refer to the original source. One of the things that all of our different integration methods have in common is the need to reference back to the original source. This includes using proper in-text citations as well as creating something called a bibliography. In the next video, we'll take a look at how we organize references using bibliographies. We'll also explore methods we can use for reference management. Want some help? Schedule a research appointment with one of our librarians today.